The Vanishing of the Polaris. Into the Abyss. The Polaris was a modest cargo ship, built during the waning years of World War II and retrofitted for civilian use in the 1950s. It wasn't luxurious or particularly fast, but it was reliable. Captain Adrian Moore had seen her through countless journeys across the Atlantic, trips ferrying cargo between Miami, San Juan, and Nassau. On the morning of November 12, 1971, as the Polaris departed Miami under clear skies, no one on board could have predicted it would vanish without a trace. The ship's crew numbered 12, an eclectic group of sailors, engineers, and deckhands. Among them was Celia Torres, a brilliant but haunted oceanographer, hitching a ride to San Juan to continue her research on mysterious oceanic currents. Then there was Marcus Sparks Nolan, the ship's radio operator, a man with a quick wit and a penchant for conspiracy theories. He had spent the days leading up to their voyage regaling the crew with tales of the Bermuda Triangle. "It's real," Sparks had said, tapping his finger on the map of their route. "Planes and ships just vanish. No distress calls, no wreckage. You can call it magnetic anomalies, aliens, or underwater portals, but something's out there." Celia rolled her eyes but couldn't entirely dismiss his claims. She'd read the reports, Flight 19, the USS Cyclops, and dozens of others that had disappeared in the same swath of ocean. It was part of why she'd taken this job. Her research into unexplained deep-sea currents had drawn her to the triangle. By sunset, the Polaris had reached the coordinates Sparks had circled on the map. The air was unnaturally still, the horizon a seamless blend of steel-gray sky and water. Captain Moore noted the strange calm with unease, and the crew's usual banter gave way to silence. When night fell, the ship was swallowed by darkness, and the first signs of trouble emerged. The signal. "Captain, we're losing instruments," Sparks said, his voice tight. The radio hissed with static. The compass spun wildly. Even the ship's GPS, a relatively new addition, flickered and died. Moore frowned, gripping the wheel tighter. "How's the engine?" he barked. "Running fine," the chief engineer replied, though his expression betrayed doubt. Celia was on deck, staring into the water. The moonlight revealed something she'd never seen before, a faint, pulsing glow beneath the waves, as if the ocean itself were alive. She reached for her camera but hesitated. The air felt electric, charged with a tension she couldn't explain. A sudden gust of wind tore through the stillness, and the Polaris lurched. Sparks shouted from the radio room. "Captain, I'm picking up something weird." Moore rushed to the radio room, followed by Celia. Sparks gestured at the equipment, where a faint, rhythmic signal pulsed through the static. "It's not ours," he said, "and it's not any known frequency." "Could it be a distress call?" Celia asked. "Maybe, but it's strange. Repeating patterns, almost like a code." Before they could decipher it, the ship shuddered violently. Crew members shouted as a blinding flash of light erupted from the horizon, illuminating the water in an otherworldly glow. Then, silence. When Celia opened her eyes, the Polaris was gone. The first mystery. The disappearance of the Polaris sent shockwaves through the maritime community. The Coast Guard conducted extensive searches, finding no debris, no oil slick, not even a scrap of driftwood. The families of the crew demanded answers, but none were forthcoming. Decades later, the mystery persisted, and the Polaris joined the ranks of the Bermuda Triangle's unsolved cases. It wasn't until 2024 that new evidence emerged. Dr. Elena Carter, a historian specializing in maritime disappearances, discovered a journal washed ashore on a remote Bahamian island. The cover bore the initials AM inside, were entries chronicling Captain Moore's final voyage. Most were mundane, but the last pages hinted at the strange events leading up to the ship's disappearance. Elena's discovery reignited interest in the Polaris. She assembled a team of experts, including marine archaeologist Raj Patel and physicist Dr. Naomi Heller, whose work on magnetic anomalies had garnered acclaim. Together, they set out to uncover the truth. Threads of history. As Elena and her team delved deeper, they uncovered unsettling connections. The coordinates of the Polaris's disappearance aligned with other Bermuda Triangle cases, including the infamous Flight 19. Historical records revealed indigenous legends of a cursed sea, where spirits claimed those who ventured too far. Spanish explorers in the 16th century had written of glowing waters and ships disappearing under mysterious circumstances. Naomi's research pointed to geomagnetic anomalies in the region. The Earth's magnetic field is unusually strong here, she explained. It could disrupt navigation systems, even create hallucinations or electrical failures. But Raj wasn't convinced. That doesn't explain the lack of wreckage, or the signal Captain Moore recorded. Elena agreed. She studied the journal obsessively, searching for clues. One passage caught her attention. November 12th. Strange light in the water. Crew unsettled. Sparks picked up a signal. Not human. Can't shake the feeling we're being watched. The phrase, "not human," sent a chill down her spine. The dive. Determined to find the Polaris, the team organized an expedition. Using advanced sonar and submersibles, they combed the ocean floor. Weeks passed with no success until one fateful day when the sonar picked up an anomaly. "It's massive," Raj said, staring at the screen, "and it's not natural." They deployed a submersible to investigate. As the craft descended, the water grew darker, colder. Then, the anomaly came into view. A massive, metallic structure, encrusted with coral but unmistakably artificial. "Is that a ship?" Elena whispered. "No," Raj replied. "It's something else." The structure pulsed with the same eerie glow Celia had described in her notes. Naomi theorized it could be a remnant of an ancient civilization, perhaps even Atlantean. But as they drew closer, the submersible's instruments failed, and an unknown force pulled them toward the structure. The revelation. Inside the structure, they found what appeared to be a control room, filled with symbols and technology unlike anything on Earth. Naomi deciphered some of the symbols, which seemed to depict a map of the Bermuda Triangle and a series of equations describing spatial anomalies. "It's a gateway," she said, her voice trembling. "A portal to another dimension." Elena felt a mix of awe and dread. If true, it explained the disappearances. Ships and planes weren't lost. They were transported elsewhere. But where? Before they could investigate further, the structure began to hum. Lights flickered, and the team was ejected from the anomaly, their submersible rocketing to the surface. When they emerged, the sky was different, filled with stars they didn't recognize. The other side. The team found themselves in an alien world, a vast ocean under a sky of twin moons. Wreckage from centuries of disappearances littered the shores of a distant island. Among the debris, they found the Polaris, its hull intact but its interior eerily empty. Elena and her team realized they had stumbled upon the truth of the Bermuda Triangle. It was a gateway to a parallel dimension, a place where time and space blurred. But the revelation came with a cost. The portal's return trip was unstable, and their chances of making it back were slim. The return. In a desperate gamble, Naomi reactivated the portal using the equations they'd found. The process was chaotic, the structure collapsing as they escaped. When they awoke, they were adrift in the Atlantic, rescued by a passing cargo ship. Back on land, their story was met with skepticism. But Elena published her findings, blending the historical mysteries with their harrowing journey. The world was left to wonder. What other secrets did the triangle hold? The story of the Polaris became a symbol of humanity's enduring quest for truth, inspiring new generations to explore the unknown and to face the mysteries of the deep with courage and curiosity.